to know enough. Too old to play the part, too cool for showing up. Too dumb to say what's smart, so I'm a substitute waiting for the game to start. But I ain't trying to get played like change your heart. And may I park and find me another ride. I'm letting Florence tell you how I feel inside.
You know, I was thinking this whole channel should just be me saying, we'll do it live. We'll do it live. You know, because it's off the cuff. You know, we'll do it live. Even though sometimes I take a couple notes, but, you know, who cares? So I got a couple notes here. I'm going to cover quickly the Gettier problem in philosophy, and tell you why it might be relevant or why you might think it's cool or like it. And if you don't, that's cool. Maybe you'll like the next one. So philosophers, they used to say, this is what they used to say, a belief is true, right? A person is justified in believing that. They have justifications for believing something is true. And then the person actually believes it, then that's what counts for knowledge. So I have a reason to believe in it, and I justify that belief in something that seemingly has good evidence to back it up, then it counts for knowledge. Well, the Gettier problem, this is where that comes in. So this is when you might be right about something for seemingly good reasons, but it might be only by like luck. What do I mean by this? Let me repeat that. So you might believe something to be true for seemingly good reasons, and it might be true, but the way you came to believe that might be by coincidence or luck. What's an example? Hypothetically, I go into someone's house and I don't know what time it is. I look up on the they have a clock in the living room and it says it's 3:07. I conclude that it is 3:07, and in fact it is 3:07. However, the clock is broke and doesn't have any batteries. So I came to that conclusion based on what I thought was good evidence. And it is in fact true that it is 3:07, but the clock is broken. So how I come to that knowledge is seemingly insufficient, or you know, it it wouldn't really count as good evidence, even though it is true, you know, seemingly. Another example would be like, let's just say you were looking across at an apartment building and you saw a fire. Therefore, you concluded that, you know, there was a fire in the building based on your observation that there is fire. However, the fire that you saw is just an electronic display. It's not really, you know, it's just someone's display that they're having in the living room or something. It's not really fire, but there actually is a fire in the apartment building also. So the way you came to that knowledge based on the mantle and the fake fire, it doesn't discount that there is actually a fire in the building. So what seems like a good reason to believe in something may come about just by coincidence or luck. So should that count as actual knowledge? And I don't know. That would be something I would have to think about. I would say yes, you know, because there are tons of things in reality, even if we come to the conclusion that something is true for the wrong reasons, even if it is true, it still doesn't discount how we arrived at the truth, if that makes sense. Anyways, that's the Gettier problem. If you liked it, cool. If you didn't, well, stick around for another one. Maybe you'll like that one.